Week 12 concludes this week in the Night Racing League. Today it's the GTEs as we get close to deciding the championship. Crossing the Pacifics, the GTEs landed in Texas, where we'll race at Circuit of the Americas. After 11 races, it's drop day. And literally, as Night Racing 727 has dropped the trip to Texas and will not race today, he already has 10 races. Bozak will have to drop his worst finish. Nodovan, racing in his 10th race, a second or first, and he will overtake Night Racing for second in the championship. Only 5 points separate Jag Base and T-Man as we see the starting grid. Logan Shawn, 17 on pole with a 201.882. Back in the BMW, Bozak on the front row with a 201.972. Nodovan inside of row 2, a 202.890 gets him third on the grid, and lining up beside him is Stillen, 421 in the Ford, number 33, a 204.577. It's all Englishmen on row number 3, a 205.941 for T-Man, 1975, battling in the championship with Jag Base, 206.820 outside of row 3. Only 5 points separate them in the championship, so we'll watch that battle very closely. 45 minutes at Circuit of the Americas. Cars on the rev limiters, and we are away with Logan Shawn and Bozak both getting... It's a very even start for the whole field, actually, as they spread out. Nodovan has a look, but the Ferrari has that covered off. Bozak forced on the outside. A great start, and we've become very accustomed to that here in this series. There's a great deal of testing goes on, and these guys are all professionals when it comes to the starts. And look how tight it is as we come through the S's for the first time. Stillen, 421, has taken third place over Nodovan. And Logan Shawn having a great qualifying and has turned that into the lead as we come down toward the back straight. Side by side for third as Nodovan gets a good run. He's inside. And the straight line speed of that Corvette looks like he'll get the job done as we hit the hairpin. Back into third for the Corvette. He can see the position he wants. It's his 10th race. And if he can finish second or better, it's a 15-point gap to Night Racing. Second or better will give him second place in the championship, with both drivers having 10 races in the books. Bozak maybe biding his time here. Very, very close with that Ferrari. Gets a good apex, and he's going to look at the inside line as we complete lap number 1. The Ferrari leads. Logan Shawn, 17, with Bozak right behind. Nodovan in third after having a little bit of a battle with Stillen. And Jag Base looks like he's fallen off the back there. There's Jag just coming through the hairpin now. T-Man very close to Stillen after a great lap won by Stillen, but falling back to qualifying position by the hairpin. Nodovan now putting pressure on the top two. We have a three-way battle here. Bozak looks like he's not going to be content for long. A little wide there, though, as he misses that apex. Logan Shawn defends again, but the crossover from the BMW, a little bit of a rub, nothing major. That looked like a great run by the American, but now it's too big of a gap, and he won't have the toe to try and outbreak the Ferrari. Nodovan is taking advantage. He's on the inside, but again, falls back in line. The BMW very good on the brakes there, and he's got it back on the tail end of the Ferrari. Ooh, Logan Shawn a little worried there, and they both lost the back end. That's going to give Nodovan a shot here at the lead, 3 wide. Nodovan on the outside is in front of Logan Shawn. There's Bozak who comes out with the lead. That closes Stillen and T-Man up a little bit. But first to third for Logan Shawn, 17, and now Bozak, the championship leader, comes around, and we'll see if he can stretch his legs here. Nodovan has looked very, very racy. Oh, and a little bit of a tank slap there by the BMW, and Nodovan another shot. I think it caught him off guard, though he wasn't able to take advantage of that, but it is now very, very close again for the top 3. This circuit takes 100% concentration all the way around. Almost every corner can bite you. They spread out a little bit through the S's. And a deep dive there by Logan Shawn. No chance to pass, but they tighten up the top 3 once again. Stillen and T-Man right there as well, as we have a 5-car battle. Only 3 seconds separating the top 5. And stable. It's usually when you see Bozak get out front, he can stretch it out, but it's not happening today like we're getting used to seeing it. Nodovan is certainly keeping him honest, and Logan Shawn is not falling back. Oh, but a deep dive and too hard on the brakes, and around goes Nodovan. That's T-Man getting by, so he's dropped 2nd to 5th. And that is a very large championship development at this point. Logan Shawn back to 2nd, and these two, watching it all from the best seats in the house, each move up a position. Stillen to 3rd, T-Man to 4th. Nodovan sliding around again. Oh, and that looks like Stillen going around. Yes, he has swapped it, and T-Man avoids it on the outside. The director can't decide who to follow. Jag Base is having the field come back to him. Nodovan has now re-inherited 3rd place, with Stillen 421 going around under the brakes. T-Man just had to avoid it, and that cost him time. He looked like he went off the outside of the circuit there, and Nodovan regains 3rd place, but we'll check that gap to the leaders. That's where he lost it before. It's 7 seconds off the lead now for Nodovan. This is T-Man 1975, losing it into the S's. That'll give Still in 4th place. Jagbase will move into 5th, and there's T-Man just now backing it up and getting it back pointed in the right direction. We're into the 203s up front. Bozak leading by just over a second. Still in 421 in 4th as we watch him come up the hill. The newness rubs off these tires very quickly, and the biggest problem with this circuit is, of course, tire temperature. You are loading these tires constantly. It's always sunny, it's always hot, and they really start to complain, and we're starting to see the first symptoms of that here on lap 5. Back up front, Bozak beginning to stretch the advantage. It is good to see him back in that BMW. The one nice thing, it's a good and a bad thing, I suppose. This is an open championship, and you can show up in whatever car you want. It's a timed race. There's no pit stop strategies mandatory or anything. You have to get through the 45 minutes any way you want. And so you can change cars. And Bozak has driven a Ford. He's driven a BMW. We've seen the other guys jump around. Nodovan, the only... Nodovan, T-Man, and Jag actually have only run the same cars. But it is nice to see Bozak back in the classic BMW we started the series with. And has been so dominant in as well. Although, to be fair, he's been pretty dominant this season in whichever steering wheel he's grabbed. Logan Shawn, 204, 259. And that's about 0.8 off the pace last time around. As we are into lap 6, it's a 3-second gap. Nodovan has gotten himself back to qualifying position after a string of events. One of them his, and a bunch of them others. It's amazing with all that went on. We are basically in qualifying position other than the front row swapping. Bozak has taken the point after qualifying in second. The swinging pendulum that is the Corvette C7R as Nodovan comes through and he makes his way toward the back straight, and the unmistakable engine tone of that Ford GT still in 421 up the hill. They seem to have parked the satellite dish under a big tree, so we apologize for the picture quality there. And we jump ahead a few laps to lap number 9. Bozak, your leader. Logan Shawn second, just 4 seconds back, with Nodovan in third, still in 421. T-Man 5th, and Jagbase 44 in 6th place. 45 seconds covers the field here at the Circuit of the Americas, race number 12 in the GTE Championship. This will be a drop race for Bozak. Nodovan is running his 10th race of the series, as has Night Racing, who is not here this week. Pole sitter still keeping the leader in sight. It's been a very close race, despite all of the action we had early on. Here's the third place car, Nodovan. At this point, the fun is done. The cars are in a running order, and it's time to log some minutes as we approach the 20-minute mark of this 45-minute race. Nodovan, after the early troubles, has got himself back to a podium position and is looking with a first or second place to take second in the championship. And that'll be a straight-up fight because, as we said, this is his 10th race. Knight has already done 10 races. But he needs to finish in the top 2. There's the gap. Logan Shawn into the S's. Just dropping back a little bit is Bozak. We said earlier, once he gets out front, he tends to just stretch his legs a little bit and start controlling the race. He seems to be doing that now. And Logan has found himself a spot sort of equidistant between the leader and third. Down into the 204s as the tires start to probably get hot. Definitely a tire management, especially the fronts here at Circuit of the Americas. This series will finish up at the Daytona Road Course, but next week we have the doubleheader, of course. The GTE's at Road America. That'll be on 8 March. And on Saturday, Watkins Glen will have the Formula Renault 35s. It's the penultimate race weekend for both series as Season 2 draws to a close. So a big doubleheader weekend next weekend. And then, of course, the following week is an off week for the Xbox Series, the 12 hours of Sebring for the esports team. So everybody very much looking forward to that after a spectacular run at Silverstone last weekend. The first top 10 for the esports team. They threatened to have one in Watkins Glen, and finally converted one. As we check the lap times here, 2:04.2, 2:04.7, so still half a second pulling away, and Nodovan, interestingly enough, is running leader pace, just a 10th off, so he's closing that gap a little bit to second place now, as we go back up front with Bozak. We should have an announcement very, very shortly regarding Season 3. Whether or not there are going to be 2 series or just one, we don't know. Still in 421 will be the administrator there, and we will find out hopefully this week. We have new drivers lining up and being tested. So hopefully have a nice full field for whatever goes down in Season 3. Looking forward to that, and we will have coverage of all the races, of course, here on Mixer. Completing lap 11. Bozak across the line, 2:04.2. He's really settled into a nice, consistent pace here. As we approach the 25-minute mark, just over halfway. Logan Shawn can see him. The gap is stabilized around 4 seconds. 2:04.4 for Logan Shawn that time around. Donovan not making any headway in lap 11. .207 for Stillen, 2:08s in the back for Jag, so that those gaps are pretty stabilized as well here, as everybody has really embraced an endurance mindset here. There's the Ford of Stillen, 4:21. T-Man 1975 in the second Ferrari now. Oh, and a little excursion there for the Englishman. No harm, no foul. And there is Jag Bass, the second Brit in the Ford GT, number 2. Jag coming off his first experience in the esports endurance team at Silverstone, as he was driving with Donovan in the blue car. And haven't really had a chance yet to talk to him about his first race, but they did well. They got the car to the finish, ran the whole 6 hours. And that's all you can ask, especially on your debut race in a series like that. Back with our second place car, this is Logan Shawn, 17. The pole sitter, his first pole, if I'm not mistaken. And a 2:04.1 the last time around, so he's actually starting to put a little pressure on. The gap hasn't really come down, though, so we'll have to watch that a little closer as we get here into the second half of the race. There is the gap visually as Bozak gets into the hairpin at the end of the back straight. Still in that 4-second range. On board now for a lap of Circuit of the Americas with Donovan. Into lap 14, and you can see Bozak has responded, and a 2:05 by Logan Shawn that time around, so he looks like he gained a little ground when the lap times went up last time, but somewhere maybe in the S's he gave that back, and you can see it reflected in the lap times there. A 2:03.8, interestingly enough, by Donovan that time around, so that is going to close the gap significantly from second to third. As we look at Jag Bass. And the sister Ford in fourth place, Stillen. This is the man on the move at the moment, though, Donovan. The gap just around 4 seconds, but I'm very interested to see when they come around to the line this time. It's looking very smooth through there. When we were on board, the lines were just perfect, so probably he's either saved his tires tight through the apex there, but let's have a look here. Is 205s, 204 and a half. And oh, here's the line now. And a 204.1, so he still does get 0.4 of a second. As Logan Shawn, he's not under pressure by any stretch. There is the gap visually, but that's 2 laps in a row now where Donovan has bettered his lap time, so let's see where this is going. Car looks good. I'm not seeing any obvious handling issues. Easy to say when you're sitting on the outside how difficult these cars are. But he's hitting his braking points. The apexes look good. The car's not sliding around. It's just Corvette might just be a little quicker at the moment. As we will have 15 laps on the board as we come around. More importantly, we've crossed the 30-minute mark, so just 14 minutes left in this round 12. And Logan Shawn has responded with a 204.1. And a 203.9 for Donovan. So the top 3 have all tightened up. 3rd place, the quickest car on track. 2nd place, the next quickest. And well, it's only 0.3. Bozak the slowest of the top 3 on lap 15. We hadn't even talked about possible pit stop strategies, but this series, everybody has really come to grips with the hard tires and saving their equipment. Although it may not have looked like it at the beginning of the race, they were going at it pretty hot and heavy there, but it's been a long time since we've seen a pit stop or anything other than damage in this series. Even at a circuit like this where the tire deg is so high, it's just not quicker. It's much quicker to manage your tires and stay on track than it is to do a pit stop in a short 45-minute race like this. Even with the accelerated tire wear, of course. And we're back now with Logan Shawn, who has made a mistake. It looks like Donovan has caught right up with him. And as we come down to complete lap number 16, the Ferrari is now under pressure. And yes, he's in. It's a 2:06.9 for Logan Shawn and a 2:03.485 for Donovan. That's the fastest lap of the race, and he's got the Ferrari right in his sights now. So we're going to have a bit of a ding-dong here for the end of it. Lap 17, we got about 10 minutes to go now. The pole sitter under pressure. And look at that Corvette now, just sliding around. We haven't seen that for a while, but the prize, the carrots on the end of the stick there. Coming down, not quite in the toe yet. But he does have a dive at the apex. That causes a back end to come around. Logan Shawn and Donovan fighting for second place here. Of course, that position, you can see they're gaining on Bozak as well. I see a 2-second gap. There he is in front. Bozak must have had an issue there. Well, hasn't showed up on the timing screen yet. Here we come by the line with Donovan all over the back end. Yeah, 2:09 for Bozak that time by, so everybody's starting to have issues. We could have a three-way battle here in a second. Well, for a race that started off with a lot of excitement and, boy, for lack of a better word, got a little bit sleepy there in the middle. We've all of a sudden just cranked it up for the final 10 minutes. The Corvette definitely looks faster, doesn't it? But Logan Shawn has one of the most important things, and that is track position. See how he does, and they are certainly keeping pace with Bozak as well. Defending at the end of the back straight, can Donovan do the crossover? He tries it, but Logan is perfectly placed for the inside on that one. Very well done there. Oh, and a dive on the inside is going to cause the Corvette to go around. And if nothing else, that gives Bozak a little bit of breathing space. Diving at every possible passing opportunity, not a long-term strategy. Donovan's got to set him up here and see if he can get a good, clean pass. He clearly has the faster car at the moment. You can see how that's given Bozak a little bit of breathing space. He turns a 2:03.9, and we're in the 2:05s for these battling cars for second and third. Donovan a little bit of a breather, although it feels quite temporary. Actually pulling away. I wonder if there's been a little overheated tires there on the Canadian. Seven minutes left in the race. You could see him just throwing that Corvette in the background. Logan Shawn looks very composed. And that's a healthy gap. There won't be a move here at the end of the straight. Bozak hits the hairpin first. That back end, you can really see when that front dives down on the Corvette how the car just likes to pendulum around it. There's the corner where all the action happened. Nice and steady through there. He looks very well placed if he can time this last corner to maybe have a run at him into turn 1. Nicely done. Not quite as close as you'd want to be, but the back straightaway is coming. And a little friendly light flash from the Canadian. Well and truly ignored by the second place car. We do have a rule written about that, excess flashing. That was clearly a playful one, and it is not continued, so no worries there, but less than 5 minutes to go, and perfectly placed now in the toe. Down the long back straightaway. We're definitely going to see a passing attempt here. Logan Shawn moves defensively to the inside. The Corvette will take the outside line. Last of the late breakers, and on the line. And now set up for the inside. A beautiful pass by Nodovan, and that puts him into second place. Very well done after a couple of maybe over-aggressive attempts. He settled himself down and got the job done properly. That was a very, very good pass. With just over 3 minutes to go, the leader is into lap 20, turning a 2:03.8, and has regained, boy, it's a 6-second gap now, isn't it? Logan Shawn taking a look on the inside. Didn't see that coming, and he's back into second place. Fantastic stuff. A beautiful run up the hill. I'm not sure if Nodovan was caught as surprised as I was there, but... Oh, and we're back to the over-aggressive looks. Having to go wide there was Logan. I think more scared than anything there, but he's got the car on circuit. Nodovan is right there to try the same pass he did last lap. This could be the second last lap. I think we'll have one more after this. A little bit of movement straight off the corner as Nodovan fights to get the inside this time. Jag Base out of the way as he goes a lap down and into the braking zone. You can see the Corvette visually quicker approaching that braking zone, and that's this pass done again. Fantastic stuff here at the end of round 12. A little bit of a push through that tight corner. Puts the Ferrari right back on his bumper. Definitely well placed for a rinse and repeat here down the front straight. He makes the same dive. Nodovan keeps his pace up. He kept his momentum on the outside and was able to fight it off that time. Great stuff. We'll see if Logan Shawn can get a run down the back straight and turn the tables there, although the Corvette looks very good through the S's. Oh, and Logan Shawn's... he spun it. He's recovered back on circuit, but that is going to mark the end of this spectacular second-place battle. As we get a look at what ultimately happened there, he had a great run into the S's. And just lost the back end there on the right-hander. Great stuff. And huge championship implications, because that means, with a second-place finish, that Nodovan will overtake Night Racing 727, and they are on equal footing as well, both with 10 races. You should have a 3-point lead over the Canadian, but a 3-point lead going into the final 2 rounds, where they will both have to drop races. Just quickly looking, Nodovan will have to drop a 5th place. Night Racing has a 7th place to drop, so technically could score more points as Bozak crosses the line and wins at Circuit of the Americas. And he will extend his points lead. 209 points for Bozak. He's dropped his 6th from Le Mans, but still has a huge point lead now. His 6th win in 12 races this season in the GTE class, so a spectacular run as everyone celebrates the end of this one. Bozak first, Nodovan second, Logan Shawn third, still in 421, will come home in 4th. There he is now in the Ford. T-Man is 5th, and Jagbase 44 comes home in 6th place. Very tight for them in the points as well. As you can see, only 3 points separate Jagbase and T-Man. T-Man pulling in a little bit of a gap there with his 5th place finish over a 6th. But it is Bozak with 209. Nodovan takes 2nd place in the championship, 156 over Night Racing's 153. Stillen a solid 4th with 122 points. Join us next week in the doubleheader as the GTE's race at Road America. See you then.